What is going on, my Houston Texans family? I cannot believe we are having this conversation, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask, and that is, should the Houston Texans bench Davis Mills? Yes, this whole Davis Mills saga has been very interesting and very crazy because the pressure has been on him since he's drafted. Since he was drafted, if we're being quite honest. And now when you finally, going into this year, you're kind of having expectations for this season. And Davis Mills hasn't lived up to it, right? He is breaking down in key moments. He is collapsing in the fourth quarter. It's not all on him, more on that in the video. But when you're having conversations about being the franchise guy, about being the starter for many years to come, you need to be able to close in key situations and win the game for your team. This Houston Texans team were 0-3-1, and you can argue with better Davis Mills play, we are 4-0, at the very least 3-1. Maybe you don't win against the Chargers, but the games against the Bears, the Broncos, the Colts, you definitely could have won if Davis Mills just steps up in the fourth quarter and wills this team to victory. And it's not fair, the pressure he's getting. He is in his second year, kind of. He hasn't even started 17 games yet for this Houston Texans team. And the amount of pressure that is on him has been insane. You're not Deshaun Watson. You are not a first-round pick. We have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Weed Levis coming out next year. And not only that, we have 2 first-round picks and $40 million worth of cap space to work with if you're not him. Those are the conversations that I know are constantly going through the Davis Mills' camp and going through his mind. That's why it's frustrating when you see him kind of collapse in these moments. You saw a little bit against the Los Angeles Chargers, but how close were we from benching Davis Mills? Now, if you're asking me, do the Houston Texans bench Davis Mills? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I think if you want to lose games, if you want Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, this is the way you're going. We are the only team in the NFL without a win. We should be 3-1 or 4-0, honestly, with better QB play. But if you're thinking about the draft, if you're thinking about getting a high-profile QB, or even Will Anderson, that's where I'm leaning, right? Because there's still a lot of football left to see what we got. But if you're talking already about the draft, then you want Davis Mills out there, because if he's playing like this, you're going to keep on losing games. Why you don't bench Davis Mills is because there's a youth factor. I like Kyle Allen. I like Jeff Driscoll. Don't get me wrong. But those guys do nothing for the future of this Houston Texans organization. Kyle Allen is not going to be here next season. Neither is Jeff Driscoll. There's a good chance Davis Mills not only is on the team next year, but he might be the starter. There are still 13 games left in this season. You hope that Damian Pierce 75-yard run ignited this offense, ignited Davis Mills, because they did something that they haven't done all season, and that was score in the late third and score in the early fourth. But Jacksonville, we're going next week. What if Davis Mills plays bad? Do you bench him going into the bye week and have Kyle Allen, run a week worth of, first team reps in the bye? I don't know. This is getting interesting, right? It's getting crazy because Davis Mills, you're not supposed to be having these conversations right now 5 weeks into the season. The progression that we saw at the end of his rookie year just hasn't been there. He is missing balls high. He's thinking Nico Collins is 8 feet instead of 6'4", and they kind of figured it out as the game, finished and went on. But now is the time for Davis Mills to cut all the bullshit aside and just go out there and start winning and start looking good, start moving this offense. And it's really not all on him, right? The offensive line collapses too in the fourth quarter. Pep Hamilton has definitely done Davis Mills a disservice, but it has to fall on one guy, and right now it's falling all on Davis Mills. So you guys answer the question down below. Should the Houston Texans bench him? As always, go Texans. You guys have a very blessed day.